Hey guys, this is Sarang from Skill-Lync and I hope you're doing good. First of all, congratulations on finishing the course. We thank you so much for being part of this program. I just wanted to ask a small favor. One of the ways we can continuously improve the quality of this course is by getting critical feedback from our users and implementing some core changes to the program. So if you don't mind, click on the link below to go to a feedback form and tell us what you thought about this coursework. Thank you so much and all the best. Bye.
Welcome back to the exercise on chapter 14. This exercise picks up from the previous exercise and adds to it. You will take the suspension system that you created in the previous chapter to create a rear suspension and add this to the vehicle body. Okay, let's get started. So File, Open, Model. So let's go to the chapter 14. Okay, so this is where you had stopped in the previous chapter. Okay. Now you can click on model and import the vehicle body system. Okay, for this you need to select the parent model, go to the import option in the import export tab, and then click on the folder. Then you need to go to the same folder, chapter 14. So you have the vehicle body system already present in your chapter 14. Okay, select this and click on open. So once you do this, it gets loaded in this particular path, and now click on import and click on OK. So the vehicle body got imported into your parent system. Okay, so now just explore what this vehicle body system contains. So expand this. So it has the vehicle body, which is nothing but this cuboidal box, and then that's the box graphic, and it has several hard points. So we have the vehicle center front, and please make a note here that it is a point pair and not a single point, because we have the left and the right tab, and we also have vehicle center rear. Again, it's the point pair. Okay, now let's go on and add attachments to the suspension system. So select the suspension system in the project browser and click on add in the attachments tab. So here you'll create an attachment that will get a point from another system with the intention of basically getting it from the vehicle body. So here you can enter as wheel center point, and it should be a pair. Okay, and then here click on the variable name and then mention p_wc. So this just indicates point for the wheel center, and then click OK. So this creates an attachment object, which is somewhat like a variable that stores the data of the point and thus acts like a point. So once that is done, okay, here we did one mistake wherein the type was not selected to point. So you can go ahead and delete this particular attachment. Okay, go to the add option. Here, let's redo this. Wheel center point. Here it is p_wc, which indicates the wheel center point, and we need to change the type to point. Just scroll down, select point, and the type should be selected to pair, and now click on OK. So You can use the attachment to define the point location of the wheel center point in the system by using the variable name of the attachment, which was specified as arg underscore p underscore wc, okay, which is basically the attachment of the point wheel center. So what you need to do is double click on this. So now we need to resolve this attachment that you've created. So then in the model browser, you need to select, or you need to expand the vehicle body, expand the point, and select the wheel center front and click on OK. So this is the key part, wherein once the attachment has been created, you need to resolve the attachment. And the third step will be to use the attachment that you've created after resolving. Okay, so now this is resolved. So the attachment itself is basically just a variable that stores something in the model, which in this case is the point pair from the body system that will be used by the suspension system. So you can use the attachment by entering the attachment variable in any expression that I'll be showing in the next few steps. Okay. So now you need to select the wheel center. So you need to go here and select the wheel center front. Okay. So these are the locations for the wheel center front hardpoint. Okay. So now what you need to do is go to this points under simple suspension, expand this, click on wheel center. Okay. And then you need to go to the left tab. Okay. Because the left tab has been selected as the master side and the right side will be following the left side. Okay. So it is parameterized with respect to the left tab, but the left tab is selected as the master side. So you need to go here, go to the X coordinate, go to the function builder. Okay. Here you need to enter the expression. So for that, it's basically expanding this simple suspension, expand the attachments, expand the wheel center point, and this is the left point that you are going to parameterize. So expand the left point, and then this is the X value that you'll be defining. So click on this and say add. Okay, and then you can just click on evaluated to see if there is any error in evaluating the expression. So there is no error in this particular expression. So then click on OK. So you can see that this tab gets highlighted in blue, which means that it is parameterized now. So the similar thing needs to be done for the Y and also the Z values. Instead of absolute values, we'll be parameterizing them. So clear this, go to the function builder, and you need to parameterize them with respect to the attachment that you've just created. So expand the attachments folder under suspension system, and then expand the wheel center point, and then click on or expand the left point and select its Y value and say add. Say OK. So now the Y value got parameterized. Same thing will be repeating for the Z value. So we'll come here, click on attachments, expand attachments, expand the wheel center point, expand the left point, and then select the Z value. Say add and OK. So the wheel center point in the suspension system will now get its location from the attachment, which is in this case from the vehicle body. So thus the vehicle body locates the suspension wheel center point. So you can also see in the display area, it is located in the right location now. Okay. So now let's create and use the attachment to define the vehicle body. Okay, now return to the simple suspension system, and we will be creating another attachment for the vehicle body. Okay, so click on add, and let's give the label name as vehicle body. Okay, and here it's a small letter B that represents body underscore vehicle body. And please remember that there should be no spaces or dashes when you're defining the variable name. Only underscores are allowed. And you need to change the type of this attachment to body. And just select single radio button. So it's a single type. And then click on OK. So you've created the vehicle body attachment. And now the second step is to go ahead and resolve this attachment. So you need to click on body, go expand the vehicle body system, and then expand the bodies and select this vehicle body and click on OK. So now this attachment vehicle body has been resolved. Okay, so now you're supposed to do a few things. First thing is you need to come to the simple suspension system here, expand the graphics folder. Okay, go to the damper top, and the damper top basically was connected between the ground body and the knuckle top. Now you'll be changing the ground body to the vehicle body attachment that you just created. So expand simple suspension, expand attachments, and select vehicle body. Okay, so it gets highlighted in blue, which means that it gets parameterized. Now expand joints and select the knuckle to body joint, which is the second joint in the model browser. Here, the body 2 should be again replaced with the attachment vehicle body. Okay. Similarly, the same thing has to be done even for the spring damper system that's present. So click on the spring damper. So here, go to connectivity tab. Here, instead of body 1 being ground body, you need to replace it with the attachment vehicle body and click on OK. So once all these steps are done, you need to export the revised suspension system. Okay, so you can minimize this, click on the simple suspension in the project browser and go to the import export tab, click on the export radio button and then click on this folder, and you can save it in chapter 14. So let's go here. So let's save it as simple suspension system revision 1. Okay, .mdl. So click on save and then don't forget to click on quick export. Only then this suspension system gets exported. Okay, so now we need to import this suspension system again in order to create the rear suspension system. Okay, so click on the model and then click on import, go to the folder option and then click on the simple suspension system revision 1 that you just created. Click on open and then click on import. So once this is done, just change the label name to rear and the variable name also to rear and then click on OK. So you can see that another system got imported as simple suspension rear. So you can just go here for the existing simple suspension system, right click and just rename it as simple suspension system front. Okay, so now you see the how useful it is to create systems, and because of the fact that they are reusable. Okay, so you can go to the simple suspension system rear. The only thing is you need to resolve the attachments. Okay, so click on this, go to the attachments tab. So here, instead of the point where being resolved to the wheel center front, you need to select this and go to the vehicle body, expand the points and select the wheel center rear. Okay, so when you do this, the same thing gets aligned to the rear wheel center points. Okay, so once you are done with this, the body, you can just make sure that it is resolved with respect to the vehicle body. Okay, so that's done. Now we should have a system that looks like this. So the next thing is you need to add a fixed joint to keep the vehicle body grounded. So for this, let's click on the vehicle body, right click on this, and then add a constraint entity and then click on joint. So give meaningful names for the joints. So here define it as vehicle body. So the variable name should also be changed. And then we need to define a fixed joint. Okay. Once that is done, you need to select the body 1, which will be the vehicle body. And the body 2 will be the ground body, which will be present in the parent system, which is modeled. And then the origin is the vehicle CG. So that is found under the vehicle body system. If you expand points, you have vehicle CG under this. Click on OK. So once this is done, go to the run panel and click on run. So you should see that your wheels should move in the similar manner that you saw in your previous animation. The animation that you saw in the last chapter. Okay. So let's go to animate. And if you click on animate, yes, so it is behaving in the same way. It's just that we copied the suspension system in the front to the rear and we have established attachments to the vehicle body. Okay. Now let's go back to the Motionview window. Now it's time to create dataset for the suspension parameters. So for that, you need to right click on your model and go to add option and then click on the general MDL entity and then select the dataset. So here, let's give meaningful names for the dataset. So let's call it vehicle parameters. And you can also change the variable name. Vehicle parameters. And then click on OK. So once this is done, click on the data member tab. And then you can click on the add button and change the type to real. And the variable name can be changed to suspension stiffness. And the label name can also be changed to suspension spring stiffness. And then click on OK. Now repeat the same steps to create another dataset. So click on add, change this to real. The variable name can be changed to suspension damping. So the label name can be changed to suspension shock damping. So once this is done, click on OK. And now we need to add an attachment to the suspension systems to use these dataset values. Okay, so in order to use these values in the dataset, you need to create an attachment in the suspension system to retrieve this entity information from another system. So for this, let's go back to the simple suspension system front. Click on the attachments tab and then click on add. So here, let's give the label name as suspension dataset. Okay, and the variable name must be changed accordingly. And the type should be selected as dataset. And then click on OK. So once you've created this attachment, you need to resolve the attachment. So for that, you need to select the dataset, double click on the dataset, expand the datasets in the model browser, and then click on vehicle parameters and click on OK. So now the attachment has been created and it has also been resolved. So now it's time to use this attachment. So now select the spring damper under the simple suspension system front. And you can go to its properties. And here you can now set a parametric relationship between the stiffness and the damping values. So you can go here, delete this absolute value, go to the function builder and parameterize it with respect to the attachments created. So you need to expand the simple suspension system front, expand the attachments folder, then expand the suspension data set. And the first thing is the suspension spring stiffness. So you need to expand this and then select the value and click on add and then select OK. So now it is highlighted in blue, which means that it is parameterized with respect to the dataset attachments that you created. Next, the same thing is done for the damping as well. So just delete this absolute value, go to the function builder, expand the simple suspension system front, expand the attachments, expand the suspension data set, and this time you'll be expanding the suspension shock damping. And click on the value and click on add OK. So now both the stiffness as well as the damping have been parameterized with respect to the attachments that you create. Okay, so now once these are done, let's go back to the vehicle parameters in the project browser and then go to the properties tab. So here you can enter the value for the stiffness and the damping. Say we give 100 for the stiffness, or say 1000 for stiffness and 10 for damping. Okay, so once you define it in the data sets, now just to quickly verify, you can go to spring damper and you can see that these values are automatically updated because you parameterized them with respect to the data sets. Okay, now you can export the simple suspension system. So what you can do is click on the simple suspension system front. Okay, so before you export them, you can also go ahead and change the vehicle parameters as you like. So for example, you can change this value from 100 to from 1000 to 100 or to 10. Okay, so let's leave it at 100 and keep the damping value as it is. Okay, so just so that we're sure that it's getting updated, click on the spring damper, and you can see that the value for the stiffness has changed from 1000 to 100. Okay, so now let's go ahead and export this updated simple suspension system front with the dataset that we've just created. Okay, go to the import export option, click on export, click on the folder, and we can rename it as simple suspension system with datasets. Okay, then click on save and then click on quick export. So once this is done, what you can do is you can delete the old simple suspension system rar, because we are going to re-import the simple suspension system front and rename it as rar and resolve the attachments. Okay, so what we need to do is go to model, go to import option, and then select the simple suspension system with datasets that we just exported. Go to open, click on import. Here, instead of simple suspension front, we'll be changing it to simple suspension rar. Similarly in the variable name, and then click on OK, and you can see that this particular system has been imported. Now the only thing that you need to do is go to attachments, and in the point pair you need to select the vehicle center rar, sorry, the wheel center rar point. Okay, so you can see that now the model gets updated automatically. And if you just go ahead and expand this, if you click on the spring damper, you can see that these values are also updated automatically to 110. Okay, so this completes the modeling. Let's go ahead and run the model. Okay, let's go to animate. Okay, so we've completed the modeling and this analysis. So we've completed the modeling and the simulation for the chapter 40. Thank you.